Welcome to the ArtOfMoneySaving.com. My name is Joshua and this video is all about what is considered a good salary. Now this is not an easy question to answer and it's going to vary from country to country, so this is going to be a UK perspective, but nevertheless we're going to look at how living costs can eat into our salary and look at some of the misconceptions about this idea of the average salary. So if that sounds interesting, do stay tuned. There's a very famous programme in the UK from the BBC called Question Time, and the whole ethos of the programme is that the television crew go into smaller communities and give a chance for people to ask questions. And you might recognise this gentleman in the picture here. Now he became very famous for talking about his wage of £80,000. Now the previous Labour opposition were talking about taxing those earning above £80,000, and this gentleman fell into that category and he was absolutely enraged that he would have to pay more tax and felt like he was being penalised. This was a really poignant thing to think about and gained a lot of media coverage. But does £80,000 sound a lot of money to you? I think in the UK it does sound like a lot of money, but let's unpick this a little bit more. It's a very interesting article from The Independent that speaks about some of these statistics and also specifically this issue about £80,000. The average or mean earnings for a full-time worker are £37,428 per year. This is higher than the median because a relatively small number of very high earners skew the figures. These numbers are taken from a survey of 180,000 people for the Office of National Statistics. Importantly, they do not include the significant proportion of the population that does not work, retired people, the unemployed, or those not seeking work. So what does this really mean? Well, £80,000 in the UK does turn out to be quite a lot of money. But that's very dependent on where you live, and this is a really important point to raise. £80,000 in London, yes, of course you can live below your means and still save for your retirement. But if you're comparing that to £80,000 in Stoke-on-Trent, for example, where the living costs are a lot lower, you're going to have a much more successful saving rates and a lot more disposable income. So it's quite easy to demonise those on £80,000 and saying, well, you're in the top 5%, but depending on where they live, this is a big question to ask. What is a good salary? Well, actually, the real question is, what is your attitude? Are you someone that wants to live below your means, whether that's in London or whether that's in Stoke-on-Trent? If you are able to reduce your living costs and reduce your daily expenditure and maximise your side hustles and income, then that is going to supercharge your finances for the long term. Well, what springs to mind when you hear the word good salary? Does a doctor come to mind, a solicitor, a fireman, a policeman? Well, here in the UK, it's a mixed bag. Doctors don't tend to earn that much, certainly nowhere near as much as they would in the US or Australia. The mean salary for a solicitor is £42,494 per annum. For chartered accountants, it's £38,805. An example that always springs to my mind are doctors. But did you know that junior doctors in the UK have a starting salary of £23,000, rising to £28,000 in their second year? Now, that is not a lot of money, particularly when compared to £80,000. But again, where are you living? Are you living in the South Wales Valleys, or are you living in Cardiff, the capital city? These things really make a difference, and when we're thinking about financial independence, if we're not able to keep our costs down and the costs of living are extremely high and we live a very frivolous and luxury life, then we're not going to be putting anything into the market. So let's think about how we can rephrase this question. It's not what is considered a good salary, what is considered best for financial freedom. And if we find ourselves where we're time rich, we're able to passively invest into the market a couple of £100 a month or more, then we're going to find we're supercharging our path to financial freedom. What is your salary doing for you? Is it tying you down to one place? in an income that isn't particularly helpful in a town or a city that is far too expensive to live in. But where do you see yourself? What are you going to do with your own wealth? If you are someone that's passively investing and you're a UK citizen, you have your ISA allowance of £20,000 a year, for example, this is a wonderful way to save in a tax-free fashion. Just open that stocks and shares ISA and invest into the market over a long period, and away you go. Happy days. So let's get into the details. What is a good salary? Well, if the average salary is between £24,000 and £30,000, if you think that an extra £10,000 will give you that market potential over the long term, perhaps an amount of £40,000 is considered a good salary. The more we earn, the more disposable income we arguably have. But we know that's not the case. Just because you earn more doesn't mean that you're saving more and investing it into the market. So this video should be an encouragement to those that are earning a smaller wage but are doing their best to maximize their financial freedom and financial journey. But it should also be a cautious warning to those who are earning more and are not being diligent and thinking enough about their long-term future. Now, I've come across a lot of those people, particularly in my industry. Life is good and well when you're earning the big bucks, but what happens when that stops? Well, that's our responsibility to start planning now for our future. And as we get older, as we get closer to retirement, the harder it becomes to work. Our bodies get a little bit more tired, and everything gets a bit more difficult. So the more we can do now, the better it is for our future. Whether or not you're earning £20,000 or £100,000, I like to think that the process of achieving financial freedom is quite similar. Now, with more money, of course, your investing opportunities are slightly different. Perhaps you're going to dip your toe into different aspects of the market, but the principle is the same. So I hope this video has been a source of encouragement for you and it's got you thinking. Do you agree with the gentleman from Question Time? Is £80,000 a lot of money in the UK? What is your salary? Is it a good salary? Is it not enough? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in to theartofmoneysaving.com. My name is Joshua, and make sure you smash that subscribe button, like, share, do all that important stuff. Anyway, look forward to seeing you next time. Bye now.